Did that do it? Yes, it did. Okay, so we did have another session today. Just to be clear, you only need to turn in 2 of the 3 today. I did send you a video clip from the AP Physics C, and I thought there were 2 little nuggets of information that came out of both videos. The lady there had mentioned that you'll be typing answers, and that M-2 would be something you'd have to be able to type out. But then if you were listening to the guy's video, he said you will have to hand draw graphs on the test as well. Hers seemed more directed toward the physical test itself. His seemed more of a, that's what you normally have to do on the test. So I don't know, take that with a grain of salt. I know a lot of you have questions on the AP exam, and I actually did get a bunch of information today about that. And if you have more questions, please fill out that survey, because I'm going to try to make like a longer video addressing all those questions on there that I can. But just so we're aware of how that works. Let's see here. I don't really want to address any of those questions because I'll try to do the video separately for that. I want to, I understand little things here and there, but I want to keep these to our sessions. Next week, there will be 2 sessions. Those will post Sunday around I think it's 12:01. I made the announcement post to, and I'm hoping I'll be able to have a link for the meeting, and you'll be sitting in a waiting room if you try to join it early. So don't try to join it early, but I'll figure that out later. And then I thought we would kind of just go, oh, actually I got to do this. Hold on, because I'm not broadcasting my screen. I thought we would just go to doing some problems, if that's okay with people. And if you have questions, you can type them, but the best way to do that is to simply, you can type them, but the best way is just going to be talking to it. And again, remember, you can use your phones and stuff for this. Nope. All right, so one of the things that we have noticed is this stuff is not technically on the test, but a lot of the material covered is. Today's session for AP1 was very good because he really went over exactly how you can answer these questions that are, the lab questions, which we have a tendency to struggle with. So just be aware of that. That was a really good piece about that one. But I thought we'd do a review question here or there. And again, feel free to ask questions because that's kind of what we're here for. Let me make sure I have my pen on. We'll do black. All right, so here, can everyone see that text okay? I know it's smaller than I normally make it, but I want to make sure people can see it. So if you could sort of just type yes or no, that would be great. Or you can speak up, yes or no. Can people see that text okay?
I can see it.
Yeah, that's pretty clear.
Okay. All right. So the idea of these sessions, and this is going to be the first one that's kind of more like the real ones, is I'm going to try to put up some problems that are related to what they went over. I'm obviously going to have a Q&A time for people to ask questions, and we're just going to try to do the problem. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to sort of do this problem if you can. If you can't, still try to do this problem, and then we're gonna just roll with it. I'm probably gonna have I think this time I have 2 questions is what I have. I got to double check. All right, but I'm gonna give you maybe a couple minutes, count it down. I could sing, but I don't think that's a good idea. So I'll give you a couple minutes to try to do this one. I'm gonna mute my own microphone, and we'll go for. Oh, people, please don't write on the board. That was me writing on the board, so don't worry about that. All right, so I'm gonna give you a few minutes. Go ahead. Okay, so something also to realize, you guys, is especially with your class, the sessions that I do are going to be identical each week. So I have 2 sessions set up for next week. They are going to be identical. If you showed up to one, if you want to show up to the second one, that's fine. Ask a question or something, but you can always ask me through Remind. But I need to make sure we do allow other people a chance to join them. All right, so the first thing we obviously need to do is convert the 15, a frog rides a unicycle. If you don't know what that is, that's right there. Wheel begins at rest and accelerates uniformly in a counterclockwise direction. That's important to understand. Angular velocity of 15 RPMs in a time of 6 seconds. Find the angular acceleration. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to convert that RPMs, which is that 15 RPMs, into rads per second. So 15 revs, hopefully this is showing up okay. It looks like it. Revs per minute. And how do you convert? I mean, how I do it is times line. And the first thing I'm going to convert is the time. And I know 1 minute is 60 seconds. And that will get me in the correct units for time. But I'm still not there. So times line. And then I have revs. So 1 rev is 2 pi radians. Okay, and this one equals, you can plug that into your calculator on your own if you haven't done it yet, 1.57 rads per second, or rad per second. And that's the first thing we have to do. After we're done with that, use the definition of angular acceleration. And angular acceleration is that alpha, which equals delta omega over time. And that delta omega is just going to be omega, nice, omega minus omega naught all over t. In this case, our omega naught is 0 because it says the wheel begins at rest. So we don't have to worry about that. But we do have a final one, which is that number we just got, which is 1.57. Screen broadcasting, live broadcast to Teams has stopped due to an attempt. Okay. Hold on a second. Are you guys hearing me okay? Anybody there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Just trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah.
What are you seeing, though? That's just weird. Okay, someone's got some funky votes in there. Okay, but you guys are seeing my screen still, correct? You guys are seeing the screen with the circular motion rotation on it?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you and see everything. It's fine for me.
Yeah, but you don't see anything happening to that screen, correct?
No.
Not
I don't
anymore.
see anything.
If you're like drawing something right now, we can't see it.
Right, I
No,
was, so let's... Okay, yeah, I'll just have to forcibly do that one more time. Let's see here. Share screen. Start broadcast. Let's try that one more time. Sorry about that, guys. Still got to work out some nitty-gritty fun stuff here. All right, so let's go to this problem, and everything kind of cleared out on me. But we had 1.57, if I remember correctly. And so we had 1.57 minus 0. And then how much time was it? It was 6 seconds. And you sort of plug that in, and you get 0.26 radians per second. I know that one guy liked per second. If that's your thing, knock yourself out. And just per second squared. But it's important to note that the positive angular acceleration as the bicycle wheel is accelerating in the counterclockwise direction. And that's, they do that kind of that right wheel thing. Does anyone have any questions on this one? I know you can't see everything. I do apologize because like some of it got sort of taken away. Anyone have any questions on this problem? So you can type your answers as well, just so we're clear. Nothing? Okay. All right, so we're going to move on then. I'm just trying to put that out there, 5.7. And this was alpha equals delta omega over t. Okay. All right. Well, then I guess we'll move on to our next question. And this is an important question. So you guys, I really want to make sure you try this one on your own. And the reason why is because everything, they want to eliminate cheating. Everyone understands this, I assume. And the way you can eliminate cheating are rank order questions. There's a book out there called Tippers. Unfortunately, I don't have a digital copy of it because I don't make one. But Tippers is all about rank ordering things. And that's something you definitely want to pay attention to because you're going to see these style questions. Now, obviously, this actually is not a multiple choice question, but this style question where, the guy talked about before, do this, this happens, explain it. This style question, order these in order, that is definitely going to be on the AP test. I did get some more information, as I said. Make sure you fill out that form that was on the top of that chat there so that you can, I know any questions you have, but I do have a bunch more information. I'll try to get that video out soon. All right, so a variety of masses are attached to different points to a uniform beam attached to a pivot. Rank the angular acceleration of the beam from largest to smallest. So this is basically kind of a torque question. As we do know, hopefully I'm hoping you know this, you know that F equals ma, right? And if your m, so to speak, your force here is going to be obviously what these masses are. And if you, I'm sort of mumbling here, torque is I alpha. Now all of these are going to have the same I, just like all of them would have the same mass. So it's really completely unimportant. So your torque is what's basically going to determine your alpha or your angular acceleration. So what we need to look at here is which one is going to be the greatest. Can someone maybe try to type in? We're going to go with people who aren't vocalizing. Can someone type in what is an easy way to figure this out? And the reason I say type in, because as it said from that thing, they're probably going to ask you to rationalize or justify your answer. So you do have to understand how do I explain this in a short sentence.
Yeah, I guess both.
But I want people to type if they can, please. You can think about it for a second. So you could start by calculating torque for each one. Sure, that's a great way to do it. So if we look at these, what should we make these distances be right here? What should these distances be? They're all supposed to be equal. Me drawing it didn't get it perfect. But what should we call those distances? 1. Perfect. Very good, Sucha. So we'll just call those 1. I mean, you can make them a different number if you want. That'd just be kind of weird. So 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2 is, and I'm just going to put 8 here. Now, I'm not going to really put any units with this because, 2m, there's no necessarily units with that. But what I want to do right now is I want to give you about 30 or maybe I will give you 1 minute to figure out what your answer is going to be, put them in order. So if you think it's, A, B, C, D, you would type A, comma, B, comma, C, comma, D, and then you hit enter. But don't hit enter until I tell you to hit enter. And right now, according to my clock, it looks like it's 2:18. So at 2:20, if you would hit enter with your answer, please. This, the 4 letters in order, which is the largest to smallest. So don't type anything yet. I mean, you can type it, but don't hit enter until 2:20. So for Paul, as you can see, it says 2:19. We said don't hit enter until 2:20. Just so we know that's not the correct answer. All right, now I got some people hitting the answers in there. All right, so if we go through this real quick here, this is 3 times 2. 1, 2, that would be 6. This is 2, same thing as over here, so it's definitely going to be 8. But I also have this 1m, and that 1m is going to be 1, 2, 3. So 1 times 3. So it's going to be 8 plus 3, which means it's going to be 11. Then I got 2 times 3. See this 2 right here? And then 1, 2, and 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. Plus, we have this m right here, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 times 4, I believe, is 4. So that's going to be 10. All right, so if I was to count this up, I've got 11, 10, and this one was 8. Put that right there. So basically, like I think most of you actually had, it's okay if you didn't. That's the whole point of these sessions. D, C, A, and B. And there's our answer for that one.
I have a question.
Yep, no problem. That's for APC. Of course, yeah, questions ask away by all means. This is your chance.
So you just multiplied. How'd you get to the point where you like knew you had to just multiply the mass times the radius and then?
So it's asking for angular acceleration, and this should have been similar to what the guy basically did today and yesterday with the meter stick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And torque, hopefully you know, equals I alpha. Now, in this particular circumstance, these are all the same things attached to different points on uniform beam. So they're all the same beam, basically, which means your I is unimportant because they're all the same. So you're basically trying to find your torque is going to equal your alpha.
FR. Okay.
Yep, and your torque, for what it's worth, is what is torque? Oh, fudge.
FR.
FR, thank you. Oh, FR. Now, you've got this 2m. Hopefully you can kind of figure out that that's going to be basically your mass.
Yeah.
Your force, I'm sorry.
Okay. Then like
Good
the
question,
A.
good question.
The like F equals ma. You don't need the A. Doesn't really matter because
they're all going to be the same A because they're all going to be the same mg.
Right. Okay. But
good question. Though. Go ahead.
Would the A change because they have different m's?
No, because it's g. The A would be g, gravity. So no matter what the m is, it's just still going to be multiplied by 10. So if you want to, technically, we could multiply this whole thing by 10, and I'd get 110 there, and I'd get 100 there, and I'd get 80 here, and I'd get 60 here. Okay. The mass is the only thing creating the force. And since we don't really have units, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
Like he said, kind of quick and dirty. I liked how he said that AP Physics, we do our labs quick and dirty. So I will try to do some more involved, obviously, questions. These are the two I had because these are the two that are kind of similar to it. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on FRQs on stuff that obviously we don't necessarily need because these are those things. Do not forget that you need to turn in 2 of 3 notes this week. Something I didn't address, and I will address, there will still be videos going on during spring break, but I will not have an assignment post for it. I'm never going to assign that to you during spring break. We're actually not even supposed to. Do you want to watch those videos? That's kind of up to you. Double check the topics. If you've noticed, there are nuggets, they're little, we'll call them pearls of information that these guys and girls, men and women, are going to let slip. That thing about typing, that thing about graphing, they're going to let those things slip. If it was me, I don't know. It depends on how burnt I was. I'd probably go back the next week, though, and do them. Because I'm going to be pretty much a hands-off technology person during this spring break. I'm building a garden, like a raised garden bed with my children, which is going to take all my energy as it is. But yeah, just like that. We are going to do sessions like this. At the end of next week, I am going to ask you about the times that I picked, if they're good. Please only attend one of the sessions so that everyone can attend. If you need to attend real quick, jump in, jump out. But I'm going to use the same basic problems with them. And before we go, obviously, does anyone have any other questions on these 2 problems? I know it's not a lot of problems. I'm probably going to try to do 3 and two of these quick style ranking ones and 1 FRQ from now on. That's going to be my version of the format. But I just hopefully will have a little bit more heads up of what the topics will be. And if you have suggestions, again, feel free to put them in there. What was that just came up? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to call it a day then. Generally, these sessions should last around 45 minutes. If they need to be longer, they will. If we need to make more of them, we will. We'll figure that out. Don't forget, I'll be posting impromptu sessions. I am going to start pulling off of Remind for class announcements because I think I'm cluttering up that area. Please make sure you filled out that survey so I can answer any questions people have in a nice video. I will try to do more video announcements. Someone had said they like that, and we are going to try to do that. Other than that, ladies, gentlemen, have a wonderful weekend. I'll stick. Yeah. Okay. We're good.